All right, it is time now to open up the viewer email inbox to see what exactly has been on your mind and to answer some of your money questions. Joining us is money and business expert Derrick Kinney. Derrick, I really like when we get down into the inbox because it brings to light a lot of the things that people are thinking about, and a lot of these are things that you hear other people talking about too.
You're right, Jason. It gives us a sense of how people are really feeling. And there's sort of some themes we'll see as we answer some of these questions.
And not surprisingly, a lot of people are very concerned about the big drops in the stock market that we have seen lately. I've heard people talking about this in different corners of my own life. It's a big topic of discussion. So, Suzanne, you got the first question of the day here. Suzanne in Arlington says she's very nervous, and she asks, how much further can the stock market drop because of tariff worries?
Suzanne, the market could drop even further. And a matter of fact, I actually think that it might. You should prepare yourself for that. And here's why. There's no clear economic policy right now from the White House. One day we've got tariffs. The next day we've got tariffs being resolved. Now we've got concerns about the Fed, worries about stocks and the economy. Because of the uncertainty, that leads to extreme volatility. But here's what I would tell you. I don't know your age, but if you don't have to take the money out and don't have to make the change right now, I would just press the brake and hold things exactly where they are. What tends to happen is when cooler heads prevail, when things settle down, is when we see the market come back up again, and then you basically miss out if you are out of the market. So don't do that right now.
That's a really hard thing to do, Derrick. We've talked about that before, to keep your eyes off of what's happening there and keep your hands off of it too, from pulling those things out and then missing the big rebound on a day like today when things did rebound. So it's tough to have that patience, but it can pay off. Angela in Plano is next. She writes, the world feels very out of control right now. I'm worried about losing my job. What should I do? Probably a lot of people with those fears right now as well, Derrick.
Yeah, Angela, first of all, thank you for your vulnerability in sharing that, because you're not alone. Two things I would tell you. First of all, don't think of yourself and your job as your title. Think of yourself as the problem that you solve in the job you're in. And what I want you to do is prepare your resume and begin to craft that around not just I'm a customer service person who's good at filing, nobody cares about that, but I help companies by solving this problem for them. You instantly become more attractive. So update the resume, float it out there. That way you have options. Better to say, you know what, I'm gonna forego a higher paying job and stay in my current job. At least you have choices. The second thing I would tell you is the way to feel more in control when life is out of control, set 3 goals for what it is that you want for yourself. It could be financial, it could be personal, it could even be a weight loss goal, whatever that may be, and focus on those goals every single day. That way you have a little bit of control in a world that does feel like it's totally out of control right now.
Even a tiny bit of control can make a big difference, though. Let's get to Sonny in Dallas now. He has 5 years until retirement. He asks how he figures out how much money they are going to need to live on, with just 5 years out.
Sonny, this is the magic question. And if you ask 10 financial advisors, they will tell you 10 different things. But let me tell you the right answer. As an advisor for the past 25 years, I sold a couple years ago. Here's what I would tell people that worked literally every single time. Live on a practice retirement budget. So do this for 3 months or 6 months. Actually live on what you think you'll need. We had one client, for example, that direct deposited their entire paycheck into a separate bank account, and we then direct deposited back to them what they thought they needed to actually practice this. What they found was they didn't need as much money to live on, and it tested it and significantly reduced their anxiety and stress. And guess what? They could retire earlier. So the key is, doesn't matter what everybody else is doing, practice your retirement to make sure it works for both of you.
Okay, and let's close out with Regina here now from Grand Prairie. She needs some advice on asking for a raise. That can be intimidating to do, Derrick. She says she's an office manager. She's asking how to make more money.
Yeah, Regina, the key here is to ask yourself in your current job 3 questions. How can you help the company make money, save money, and be more productive? For example, whether it's helping save money on supplies or even coming up with ways to increase sales around the company, Write down 3 tangible ways to do that, and then go to your boss and say, look, I love working here. Let's test this for 60 days. And if it works, let's pre-negotiate, keyword in there, pre-negotiate a salary increase. If you don't do that, you're going to be stuck at the 4% raise every year, and you'll keep complaining about your job. You deserve better.
All right, so you do that work up front, and hopefully things work out when you head into that office. Derrick Kinney, thanks as always for doing this. I know there's a lot of financial worries out there right now. Hopefully that allayed a few of them.
Thank you, Jason. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.